full recovery in an instant. Hello everyone. This video will verify the newly added doctrine. The devs seem to have intended the Onna-Musha and Orochi samurai units for opponents, and the new doctrine performance was also designed to boost the performance of the corresponding units. Therefore, this time, I will deeply delve into the lifesteal performance of this doctrine. Now, let's get started. The doctrine and veterancy used are here. This unit has no shield and low defense values, so I chose a build that reduces damage taken and increases healing. Lifesteal buff is applied for 6 seconds after a hit, but since I don't know what the 12% is a percentage of, I will set the doctrine and check with a normal attack. Even after attacking and healing 10 times, it doesn't become full, so I judge that it absorbs a fixed percentage of damage dealt. Seeing this, you might think it's essential to set on high damage units, but units that can land high damage with a high attack rate in a short time are also an option. That is this. However, since this absorption amount also includes effects other than the doctrine effect, I will properly look at the breakdown of all lifesteal effects. Assuming that each lifesteal buff is independent. The lifesteal effect when health is 30% or less is 69%. The lifesteal effect in the normal state is 57%. The number of attack targets is like this. The number of attack targets is a 3-hit attack of 3, 3, and 3. The amount of block damage dealt is like this. It barely scratches the block. The block damage dealt by skill 2 is almost the same. Therefore, full upper route is unnecessary. And the lifesteal effect does not work against enemy heroes and chariots. From the new season, the following rune has been implemented, further increasing the lifesteal effect by 30%. However, since the rune is not yet unlocked on my character, I will introduce the lifesteal amount in a state with a 20% increase. Although I haven't fought shield-bearing units, it looks like a sufficient amount of vampirism. The chariots that were rampant last season have been significantly weakened. The correction contents can be simply expressed like this. Hitting them with a skill now dismounts them. When you fight an opponent, do you worry about the positional advantage or disadvantage of your unit? Especially this unit, you cannot master it without being conscious of that. For example, where do you attack from during an attack on this map? An abnormal persistence in a frontal assault. If you answered yes, you are a bad player with a high probability. The reason is simple: the defensive side has an overwhelming advantage. The defense just needs to wait in an attacking posture behind a wall, and if the enemy doesn't attack, they can just wait and reduce the attacker's time. Even if you hear this explanation, I think bad players won't understand, so I will explain how weak a frontal charge is using an actual unit. By the way, there are two types of bad players: the immature type who lacks experience and the thought stoppage type. The latter are the people who use their favorite long-range units without looking at the map, trembling with fear of unseen enemies, and running away aimlessly. This video only targets the former. The bad player is probably like this. They challenge from the front without thinking and get scattered. Therefore, in this position's battle, they do the same, engaging their unit without thinking, regardless of how many enemies are waiting behind the wall, and they lose. Since the spears automatically pierce just by waiting, the defensive side can fight very advantageously. That is why the attacking side moves to create a breakthrough, such as dispersing into multiple routes, but bad players do not do this. They set up many long-range units at the front and wait pointlessly in the front, leading the team to defeat. Specifically, if someone draws attention to the front while another person attacks from a different direction, you can win against the opponent while minimizing losses. The technique of not hitting head-on is important for the Onna-Musha. Even if you collide head-on, you cannot scratch the block, so hitting from the front is almost meaningless. No complicated operations are needed, so let's put it into practice. I tried out its usability this time, and the conclusion is that it is quite useful. The compatibility of lifesteal and increased firepower is good. However, for polearm units, which have a low amount of lifesteal, the lifesteal rune is essential.